Hey, welcome back to the channel. You see the information on the screen, so you know what I'm about. So let's get into it. All right, so today we're going to be talking about, can you still get married? All right. And I'm really kind of leaning this to the people that are in their 30s and 40s and even 50s. And if you are a man or a woman, it's not a problem for you to watch this video. Although I am going to lean it a little bit more maybe towards the men in this particular situation. And the reason why this is coming up is because on this morning I was actually in a call, and there was a gentleman in that call that was very concerned because he is knocking on 50. And he's very concerned because he's never been married and he's never had children. And he's so concerned, wondering whether or not God has marriage for him, right? And I know a lot of women can kind of understand that if they're in their late 20s or early 30s, and even if they're 40, even if they're heading towards 40. And I know a lot of men, period, can be concerned about that, especially because we don't talk about that a lot on the internet. You know, we generally talk about it for women, but we don't talk about it for men. And people love to say things like hitting the wall and all this other kind of stuff. And we got to look at loneliness and how that plays a part. And then we have to look at the non-negotiables and how that plays a part, right? So before I go any further, I just want to say this from the bottom of my heart. It's my true belief, straight up. Unless God has told you directly, either through the Spirit, maybe through a very powerful dream. And you should know the differences between a God dream and just your dreaming. All right. You should really kind of know the difference. If you don't, you need to press into God more. You need to read his word more. You need to pray more. You need to volunteer more. These are all things that God really pays attention to. And you can also make sure that you're tithing. Okay. And remember, I don't pick up the tithe. Okay. So when I talk to you guys about tithing your money, I don't get anything. Okay, so you can trust me when I talk about tithing. Now, you need to know whether or not God is talking to you. Okay, God talks to all of his children, but he talks to us differently, and he talks to us in different amounts. God talks to some people a lot. They literally hear his voice every day. And then some people, they might hear him maybe once a year or maybe once every 5 years. And we actually even see this in the Bible where there's times where people will reach out to God and they might not hear from God for another 6 months or so, or even a year. So don't be concerned, all right, if you don't hear from God every single day. However, okay, it is rare, extremely rare, even when you go through the Bible, for people not to get married. God understands that man and woman don't do well by themselves. All right. It was the only thing in Genesis that God says was not good. And when God says something is not good, it really is not good. Right. And he basically was saying that man or woman should not be alone. I know some people might try to just push it on man, but woman still has that energy. And I think a lot of people don't quite fully understand that scripture, and they try to make it male chauvinistic. But again, let's press on. So when you're dealing with God, he wants you in a relationship. He has no problem with you in a relationship. And you can still get in a relationship no matter how old you are. But a lot of what we do in life comes from what we believe about ourselves and what we believe we can have in the future. I try to be open and honest with you guys about who I am, the stuff that I go through. Okay, all the time. Like I've told you, I'm not a people person. Okay, I'm an extrovert. I am. And you people think, well, extroverts are people. No, they're not. Okay, stop listening to everything that you hear. There's almost always exceptions to every rule. In fact, I was actually looking up my personality a couple of hours ago, literally. And there's a lot happened this morning. It's just been crazy. But when I did it, it literally said my personality type really doesn't like people that much. I mean, I like people, but not as much as what a lot of people would think, right? And the reason why I say this is because, again, I'm just trying to let you know that when I go out and about, it's not me and all of this energy of walking up to women and all this other kind of stuff. And, hey, baby, how you doing? And all this other kind of stuff. That's not really me. And so through that, I'm trying to explain and tell you that everybody has issues. Everybody. It doesn't matter what you're seeing on TV. It doesn't matter what you're dealing with on social media. Okay, we're all awkward in our own way. Okay, and none of us are perfect, right? Okay, so with that in mind, can you get married? Yes, yes. Unless God has, like I say, something special for you that he's working out for you and he's talked to you about, you're probably on the path to being married. But the whole thing is, are you lining up with the non-negotiables? Are you doing what you're supposed to do? Are you listening to the wrong advice? It's like I've told you guys before. You show me your social media, I'll show you your future. Is your social media filled with negativity? And for a lot of guys, it is. And I know it is. I know it because I'll have conversations with you. And then a person that's 5'9" will basically be like, well, man, all these women, man, they just want a 6-foot dude and they just want him to be this and they just want to be that. Well, is that negative or is that positive? Okay, I use that as an example, but I'm always still like my 5'8.5" self can still get, a date. My 5'8.5" self has still dated at least 6 women over the last 4 years that have literally told me out of their mouth that they would be very open to marrying me. So my 5'8.5" self, okay, is able to do some things. And why can I do those things? Because I believe in myself, and I also know that there's always somebody out there for everyone. I've talked about me being a little bit of a nerd, yet I can still find people that want to deal with this nerd, right? See, that's what I'm trying to get you guys to understand. Okay, you can get married, you can find your person, but we have to break it down. Okay, so we're going to break it down a little bit today. Okay, this might ruffle a few feathers, but I've got to get you the information so that you can move forward. So the very first thing is, like I said, I'm going to lean more into the men than the women. And if the women want a video like this, let me know in the comments, or you can hit me up on IG. You can DM me on IG and let me know whether or not you'll be interested. We can also do this on one of the Wednesday calls. So that is, like I say, how you can communicate with me. But anyway, as a man, the very first thing you have to do is you have to be a protector. Okay? And I'm telling men all the time how to be a protector. Again, I know most of you will listen to this information. It'll go in one ear and out the other. You'll go watch 10 other people that are doing social media, and then you'll get confused as to who's saying who or who's saying what, right? So I'm encouraging you not to do that, to focus in and to understand, okay, what you have to do. You have to be solid. This does not mean that you have to be Captain America, okay? But you have to be solid. This is why I'm always encouraging men, okay, to go to the gym or to at least run. Okay, if you're a man and you cannot go and join a 5K, okay, and a 5K is a really great way to stay in shape. The same thing works for women as well, to look at the 5Ks. It's a really great way to challenge yourself and to stay in shape. Yes, the very first one, you might have to walk it. A lot of people walk the 5Ks. But if you do it for a year, you should be able to be to a point where you can run most of it. And when I say most of it, I'm talking about like 80% or more. What that's going to do is going to help your heart. It's going to help your lungs. It's going to help you feel solid in your own body. It's going to help to clear up, some of the brain fog that you might be having. Okay. And it's going to get you more solid. A lot of times when men are feeling a little bit more awkward is because we're not walking in the strength that we're supposed to walk in. And a lot of it also goes down to our testosterone levels. Okay. And the testosterone, you're going to hurt yourself if you have too much fat on your body. Okay. Testosterone does not like fat, and it also does not like unhealth, and it also does not like sugar. Okay. And it also does not like depression. These things fight against testosterone. So when you have enough testosterone in your body, you're automatically going to feel better. You're going to move better. You're going to be more coordinated. You're going to be more focused. All right. But the way to get there in the beginning is to exercise. Right. Okay. And women prefer a man with a little bit of muscle. You don't have to be super muscle. You just need a little bit of muscle. It is really important. A woman wants to feel that you can protect her. And if you're not coordinated and if you're not strong, then it makes it more difficult. It's not saying that you cannot do it. But again, you can take this information and you can say, well, I'm just listening and that was cool. And Jay, I love what he says, all that other kind of stuff. Or you can say, you know what? I'm changing my life. I'm changing my life today. And you can go out and you can get one of these apps. Like I say, I use the Strava app. And you can get the Strava app, and there's plenty of other ones. I think Nike even has one, and it'll actually keep up with, how much you walked and or run. And I've known people, to be honest with you, that live in environments, like maybe they have an apartment complex, but outside of the apartment complex, they're very afraid, let's be real, of the world that they live in, okay? Because people might not necessarily be friendly. Okay, again, I don't know where you are. You might be in different places. And I've seen people on the Strava app run around a circle until they get to 3 miles. All right? So you can't come up with excuses. Instead, you have to see solutions. And that's what women want from a man. They want a man that can give them solutions. All right? So you do that. You start there. Okay, if you can't do anything else, you walk back and forth. I don't care. You get 100 meter stretch and you just walk back and forth. I don't give a flip. You get to the point where you walk that 3 miles and then you slowly jog a few miles and then walk. Then you walk and you jog, and then you jog and you run, and then you run and you jog, and then you walk and you run, and you just keep going until you can jog comfortably, okay, about a mile, take a 100-meter walk, and then run another mile and be able to do that. Okay, at that point, you're going to start to feel better and you're going to start to feel sharper. All right. And if you're a man that is over 35, you need to really think about your testosterone. Now, I am not a doctor. Okay, I am not a doctor. So you have to watch the testosterone that you pull into your body. Right. But you can get a litany of different over the counter. You can get it from Walmart or Target. That'll actually give you a testosterone boost. I do encourage you to take it very slow with that stuff, okay? Because it'll do stuff that you ain't even know it was gonna do, all right? It almost puts you back in puberty, right? And if you are under 25, you do not, really under 30, you do not need to take testosterone at all, okay? But if you're over 35, your testosterone is probably slowing down, so that's a way to boost it again. But also, I'm saying this over and over again, sugar is the devil, all right? And sugar is in everything. So the more sugar you get out of your system, the better you're going to feel, okay? Because sugar also causes depression, but it also suppresses your testosterone. So the older you get, the more sugar you need to eliminate out of your diet. That is extremely important, okay? And sugar in bread, there's sugar in bread, there's sugar in, like I say, fruit juice. There's sugar in so much stuff, and you have to watch it. All right? So I'm just letting y'all know that that is part one. Part two, okay, is that you have to be a provider. Most women are not looking for you to be super millionaires. Don't worry about what you're seeing on the internet. For every person that you see on the internet that's talking about 100%, I can find 2 women that will say they're more than okay with 50-50. I can find women that will say they're okay with them doing 80 and the man doing 20 and all this other kind of stuff. A woman who wants to get married, who is serious, who was raised properly, is not worried about a man that 100% takes care of her. It is nice when she can have it, okay, but she's not worried about it. And the reason why this comes second is because if you're not already strong, walking with enough testosterone, is going to be very difficult for you to focus in on becoming a provider. Because one of the tenets, okay, of laziness is actually depression. A lot of times when people are depressed, okay, they become lazy and they just want to sit around the house. They just want to watch TV or play video games or find something to take their mind off of living, right? And this is why you've got to get your body right. And the United States, for all those that maybe are not in this country, the United States has really bad food. Honestly, it does. I am seriously thinking about moving to another country. I am. okay, because the food here is so bad. And it's hard to get any type of good food because even if you buy, vegetables, they're still spraying them with all these chemicals which get into your body, all right? And it suppresses you. So you might be walking, already have every single thing, but you've been so suppressed. And this is why you've got to get as much of that toxins out of your body so you can focus. And then once you can focus, now you can get in on your purpose. And your purpose, should line up with a little bit of what God wants for you in your life and a little bit of what you enjoy doing. Okay? And you've got to get on the grind, right? And if you are more of a thinking type, you might have to go back to school. You might have to get a certification in order to move up in your job. Now, I don't necessarily think you have to be the super dude of your job, but you need to be at that place where a lot of stuff can work for you and you feel confident that not only if you lost this job, you could find another job, but that you'll have a good retirement and that you could take care of 2 or 3 children if that is your future. So whatever your future, the future you want, you should be able to take care of it. And I'll just give you a pro tip for the men that are watching. If you can, even if the woman brings in money, if you can, try to cover 100% of the bills. This is not saying all that money has to come out of your pocket. But what I've learned is, and no disrespect to the women, but what I've learned is many times it's better to be able to do it and then not do it than not to be able to do it, if that makes sense. Because there might be a time where maybe she's out because she doesn't feel well. Maybe she gets pregnant and she wants to take 2 months off at the end of the pregnancy plus 2 months off, to enjoy the baby. And if you're not able to cover 100%, it's going to cause problems. Right? But at the same time, I don't believe in the 100% covering all the time. So I'm just saying you want to do it as best you can, but not be overly worried about it. All right? The final thing is leadership. Okay? All leadership is you're making decisions in your mind and you're thinking about them before they happen. That's really the key element. So how does this work? It's kind of like I've told you. If you're a thinking guy, if you're an overthinker, right, or if you're a heart type, one of the things that I encourage you to do is before you even go to a restaurant, meet a woman at a restaurant, that you should go to that restaurant before you meet her there. Okay? So you go to the restaurant, whether you get there 5 minutes early, 10 minutes early, 15 minutes early, or you can even go on another day, enjoy a meal there, and then invite her out to that restaurant, especially if it's like the first date. And the reason why is you're trying to go before to understand what you need to do. Because a lot of leadership is taking what you already know and then presenting it to someone. Does this make sense? All right. This is why I encourage you all to volunteer. Because if you volunteer at the church, whether you're an usher, whether you are working in one of the other departments in the church, what this does is you start to go through lessons. You're going through a lot of little small lessons in life. And as you go through these little lessons in life, you're actually learning, oh, I should have sat this person here, but I sat them there. So next time I know I can do it this way. And then by the time you've done that for a year or 2 years, you start to kind of understand and you have that experience in order to know how to lead, if this makes sense. And so this is all these things that kind of build upon each other. And when you build up all these things, then you start to borrow the things that men want from women. And for the women that's watching, like I said, you can look at some of this stuff in reverse. So the next thing is you build up kindness. Now, kindness does not mean that you're a pushover. It does not mean that you're, doing all this extra stuff, like people say being a simp. That's not saying that. It just means that you don't have to call every woman a B and an H and believe that every woman's going to do you wrong. It's basically you're clearing out your system. You're clearing out your emotional system so that you can basically be a good person to this woman. You want to be able to treat this woman as though she was your sister or your mother or just anybody that you care about, right? And you want to be able to treat her that way. The next thing is the support. Okay, you want to be supportive of her dreams, of what she's trying to do. If you want to be an effective leader, you have to be concerned about what the woman is concerned about. I'm always telling people, when you look at Jesus, Jesus took care of his disciples. He really did. I mean, walking with Jesus was relatively easy until it wasn't. You know what I'm saying? So for most of the time, the disciples had a pretty decent life, okay, because Jesus was taking care of them. However, Jesus told them, my law is the law. The way I work is the way you're going to work if you want to hang out with me. Okay, but see, that does not come until you can be supportive and until you can be kind. So you can't be that perfect leader without kindness and support. All right? Here's the final thing, attractiveness. We put a lot of onus on women being attractive, but let's be real, women want attractive men as well. I've always told you guys, Pinterest, Pinterest, Pinterest. I've told you guys what to look up. Men's fashion. It could be men's fashion summer, men's fashion fall, men's, fashion 2024 or 2025 or whatever it is. But it's up to you, okay, to go out there and do it. And then if you're smart, you'll take one of these women that is probably put you in the friend zone or you put her in the friend zone and you'll get really, really close to her, right? And like I've told you guys what I do, I have like 2 or 3 friend zone women. And so I basically will send them a picture. I'll put this shirt on and I'll put a chain on and then I'll send it to my friends and I'll basically be like, so what do you think? You think this is a good look? And because I'm doing it for the camera, I have this buttoned up. But I already know one of my friends, if I'm going out and let's just say I'm going to a party, she's going to be like, I want that first button, which is this one, unbuttoned. And if you guys might have seen, I had a couple videos because I was trying to test to see what it looked like on video if I look like that, right? But that's what she wants because she's trying to say, look, you want to show that you're kind of more relaxed. And that unbuttoned looks gives you more of a relaxed look. Plus, women kind of get a sneak peek at some of your workout. All right? And let's be real, women are attracted to that. But I'm not overly sharing. I'm not overly showing myself off. So there's not a really big problem. But this particular lady, like I said, she'll critique if I have a watch on. I don't have one on right now. She'll critique if I have any other jewelry on. All right? She critiques all that for me so that when I go out, I have more confidence. And then I'm able to, kind of rock and roll with that. So all that kind of stuff, grooming, making sure all that kind of stuff looks good. Washing your face, brushing your teeth, using good cologne. I know some of you might not have the money right now as a man to have good cologne. But again, how do you get cologne? It's easy. 2 or 3 of these friends in the friend zone, okay, you get them to go with you to the perfume place. Like I usually go to Sephora. Okay, so you go to Sephora and you spray it. You spray it on your thing and you let them smell it. And then I have it all over. Because by the time you go through like 13 or 14 bottles, you're trying to find a new spot. But women's sense of smell, most women's sense of smell is excellent. And they can localize that smell. And what you want is that particular cologne to get into your bloodstream and to really work with your chemicals in your body. And then you want that woman to come back and be like, and if you can get 2 or 3 women and all your friend zone women should be the type of woman you would date. Okay. You don't want to have one of your friend zone women if you're 30 and then this woman is 50. Or if you're 30, okay, be your little sister that's 15. Okay. No. That's not a good woman because that woman is outside of your dating pool. Right? You want to be getting women that's about what you want, to date. And another trick is if you dated a woman for like 6 weeks or so, you can get that woman to go to Sephora, okay, with you or whatever cologne place. And you can get her to let you know what she likes. Okay, use the dates wisely. Like I've told you, as a man, you have control of the date. So use the date wisely. Because you don't know if you're going to end up with the woman that you're dating right now. But you can let that woman help you to get ahead. She can help you pick out your clothes. She can help you to pick out a style. She can let you know what looks good for your hair. Like some guys might be rocking the dreads. I've seen a lot of them, they had the dreads pulled up and then they'll have it like shaved down here. But she can tell you, okay, whether it's the friend zone girl or a girl you're dating, those women can tell you whether or not that looks good on you. Because just because something's in style, men, doesn't mean it looks good on you. You need to find out what looks good on you. And women, it's the same thing. A lot of women will follow trends, but a lot of these trends don't look good on you. And I know a lot of women, they like, well, I don't care what men have to say. And that's fine. You know, you can do whatever you want. But at the end of the day, if you're trying to chase women, knock yourself out. If I was a woman and I put on 10 outfits, I would want the men in my life, maybe 2 or 3 men, to let me know, which outfits they like the best. Okay. And it's not always about what turns heads, because I'm going to be real for the women. If you go out in a bikini, you'll turn every head in Atlanta. Okay, every man that's walking, even 90-year-old white men will be looking at that black booty when you turn around. So let's not play these games. It's not always about skin tight. It's not always about, showing off cleavage and all this other kind of stuff. What it's about is getting the type of man that you want to pay attention to you. And a lot of times, if you're doing too much cleavage and too much body, the good men that will see you for marriage will not talk to you. All right. Or if they do talk to you, they're just talking to you with the mindset that they're going to hit it and quit it. And you don't really want to talk to those men. But I did want to make this quick video because I'm all about solutions, but I want to let everybody know that you can get married. I don't care if you're a man. I don't care if you're a woman. Do not give up. Okay. Don't give up. That is the devil trying to get in. He's trying to stop you from believing. Okay. And that's another reason why I want you guys to be healthy, extremely healthy. You don't understand the power of health. The devil's trying to remove the power of health in you. Okay. And I dare you, if I have to do it that way, I dare you to take 90 days and try to be as healthy as possible. And I bet you can turn your life around in just 90 days. Right. And then from there, you go out and you see whether or not you can find somebody that will like you. Okay. For this new energy that you're going to find within yourself, which is 100% purely you. It's just been suppressed by all these chemicals in your body. Okay. And now that true you is coming out. That true you is able to date and get out around more people. And then now, if you still can't find it, like I said, start to go to the places where you're going to be appreciated. It's like I said, I am 100%. Like I said, I'll even say for myself, I have no problem, okay, dating, generational black women, women that, 7 generations black here in America. But if they don't give me love, I have no problem with sliding over to the new women. I have no problem with sliding over to the new women who have just come here into this country and they want love. And if they don't want to talk to me, I have no problem with getting on a plane and going overseas and finding a woman. See, I don't have a problem with this because I'm going to go where I'm appreciated. And I'm also going to go where the women I run into, I feel are ready, okay, for the life that I want. And they're ready to be wives in that energy, right? And it's the same thing for the women that are watching. This is not me, like I say, sliding women. If you're out here, yes, you get yourself up. You try to talk to these men. If you can't find any, you go to another thing. If you want to talk to foreign men in America, you can do that. If you want to go overseas, you want to go to Italy. I hear a lot of black women talk about Italy. If you want to go to Italy, go there. I don't care. I've said that a million times. But it's going to be difficult for you if you're having problems now. And then you try to go to another place, and then you're like, why these people in this other place don't want me either? So that's why I want to say, I want to prepare you before you go. I want to prepare you to be your best. All right? And anybody can do this. Anybody. This is not hard. Okay? But I'm just trying to help you because everybody, like I said, can get married. Everybody can do it. And I'll be honest with you, even without all the exercise and all the extra stuff that I'm talking about, you can still do it as long as you're willing to date and marry a reflection of yourself. And I've talked about that in a couple of videos as well. And the reflection of yourself is if you are, like I say, a nerd, then you date a woman who's a nerd. If you're a guy that happens to be a little overweight, you date a woman that's a little overweight. Okay, see, that's how you're dating your reflection. All right, so I don't want this video to be too long. But anyway, you remember I have membership going on. So if you guys want to check that out, until then, please like, please subscribe, and I'm going to see you all in the very next video.